then the showing of the Sherwada Sanju Chimneki Combat Harduk, the Umi Tavi Lamje, Chiki Tarva Tamji Kimbujoba, Tamji Kibujoba, Chibi Lamje Namra Tavi Namjamango, Songores, the Tripta Sosalia, the Sumbarida, Tawa Tardu de Karelamna, and the Che Tamje Rashi Majuba, Dashin Chibis and Rangone Majuba, and the Dashin Chibis and Rangone Majuba Inaya, and but Chetamji Meva Mare, Pa Lu, Pa Shasam, Tanya Taba, some Yobari, the Niki Topiki, Tawati, and Tawa Tarduries. And the Niki Tawa Tardudi, and the Gomuluki, and the Ma Chike. Sanju Chimneki Donal Masumba Nashinje, Ma Gombuluki and Chik Sawa Sung. And the Gombulu Sawa Masun Shagudi, Dilan, Benantawa Tabaki, and the Chik Sawa Sungche, and Delatine and Jeremachiki, and Sanju Chimneki, and Tavi Namda Namja, and Tartu Umi Tawadi, and then yes.
Good afternoon. So this morning we spoke about how Buddha Shakyamuni, he taught varying philosophical tenets in order to lead beings in accordance with their individual personalities to a state freed of suffering, a state of lasting happiness, a state liberated from suffering. And amongst these variety of tenets, then the final view, the ultimate view, was that if one comes to investigate how phenomena exist, one will see they do not exist in the way that they appear. They are empty of existing in the way that they appear. And the way that they appear is as if they are inherently existent. When one investigates, one sees they are empty of existing in that way. But that doesn't mean that they do not exist at all. They are empty of existing inherently, but they exist as mere imputations by mind. So this is the final view that the Buddha taught, the supreme view that the Buddha taught. And this view was clarified in accordance with prophecy by Nagarjuna some centuries later. So he elucidated the meaning that was found in Buddha's sutras. And thereafter, Nagarjuna's elucidation was further clarified by the master Chandrakirti. And then based on Chandrakirti's text and Nagarjuna's text and the sutras, Je Rinpoche himself came to realize the Buddha's final view.
Sanji Sumbi Sunrablia Tursam Gomsum Je, then Tursam Gomsum Je on du Kabla, and David Namjati, and Nelia Pueduana, and Gasa Kavakashiki, David Namjati, and it has a disease at Dimaras among Warachite, and the Jiggy Sunja and Hamoa, and Dijelia, KPK, Yahagi, KP Shumpa, Lobjong, Muti, Lobjong, Java in Sonwa, Cezanne de Niki, Lobjong, Jabal Dene, and Jike, Dambo, Jike, Jang de Kabla, Sanji, David Namja, Tartu Hamo, Tesum Dova, Mambo Jene, and the Jike, Deniki Yilia, and Jixemia Gangar Johnson Seata, and the Chelada, do Chene, Bendawa Jabatan, Gomuluki, and the Javik Shunglia, Lobjon Chedu, Dene, and Sevako Son Sajison, the Nigel Hagowaza, and Dene, and Delia, and Chick, Tasosurangi, Nieman, Gunumbi, Malia, Chisanji Chimnandi Combat Tarduti, Toyag Dondala, Bizu Chavaji, that didn't Hako. And Semlia and Gabo that you Johnson said, and Gabo Johnson said, the Gorma, Shuere.
Je Rinpoche, he made tremendous efforts to study the Buddha Dharma, to reflect on its meaning and meditate on it in order to come to realize the final view that the Buddhas taught. And as a student, he relied on the great masters in Tibet at the time. However, their teachings were sometimes contradictory. And when Geshe Rinpoche reflected on the meaning of what the masters at that time in Tibet was teaching, doubts arose. Contradictions seemed to be apparent. So he turned his focus to the texts of the great Indian masters of former times, and he studied these. And he's still, though, trying to overcome his doubts and clarify the final meaning. And in the end, through following the advice of his Lama Manjushri, accumulating virtue, purifying negativities, and repeatedly studying the text of Nagarjuna and Chandrakirti, he came to realize the final view of the Buddha. And at this point, having made such extensive effort, following in the footsteps of Shakyamuni Buddha himself, who made incomparable effort over countless lifetimes, Geshe Rinpoche came to realize the ultimate view. And this led to great joy arising in his mind. And this is where we pick up the commentary, and we'll start this afternoon's talk. In the 51st verse, the glorious moon's eloquent explanations illuminate through its garlands of white light. When I beheld this by the great kindness of my teachers, my weary mind found rest and ease.
Sanyu Jimden Digi Kasaur Tarbat Tamji Kimbu Droba Chibigi Nat Droba Chebala Nyomomba Kansa Nyomo Bangore Nyomo Paya de Zo Nyomomba Zo Yungan Junsun Zo di Denzi Maripasia di Ries Jesanda Denigi Denzi Maripati Pambar Chebala and Chetam Rashi Majuba Topigi Tonyu Tupe Tawadi Magomba Ina ane matoba ina chedan ranshin jupe tongbe tongni de matoba ina ane tawa di mena tene chunga ze temba jupa ranshin jupa zimba de pang tuku mares chesan de pang gomba le tene ane pang hore sachi songruwa tene yenza tene gida ranshin ma jupa seadi kanachi gi lagure sene chesan ranshin jupna ane gyöndene yore ranshin ma jupa yenza ranshin ma jupa seadi tele gyumsen dene re sedma chi song shebi daban dawa ki deshi rangyu bi ranshin jupa yoba tele ya gyöndene de ranshin jupne gyöndene yore ranshin ma jupa ene yönden dene yore se chi ban dawa ki ma chi sewu shi wo song shebi yung se la she so ra de dene gi la she de so ra benan de la she ki se dene gi la she dene yung la dene an lo chang che ba yin se ro wa che shi ge
Tama Geshe Rinpoche tested Yankyo Sungtang, de Tama?
Banan Dawaja Begi, Tene Lashi Zesha Bishung, Tesula Tene, Chermichi Lobjan Cheva in Sungorva.
So looking at the first line, the glorious moon's eloquent explanations. So the term here, moon, it's the first part of the name of Chandrakirti. So we could also say the glorious Chandrakirti's eloquent explanations, because that is the meaning here. So it was through relying on Chandrakirti's explanations of Chandrakirti's explanation of the intended meaning of Nagarjuna's thought that Geshe Rinpoche has come to this point to realize the final view. And this is something of particular importance because Geshe Rinpoche, like all beings, wants to experience only happiness and to be freed of suffering. And in order to be freed of suffering and experience lasting happiness, we have to destroy what causes all our suffering, namely our afflicted minds. And to destroy these completely so they don't re-arise. So in other words, they are completely abandoned. Their root cause has to be eliminated. And the root cause is the ignorance of self-grasping, or as a synonym, the ignorance of true grasping. This is the root cause of all suffering. And in order to abandon this, one has to come to see, first of all, how phenomena appear to oneself, and that is as inherently existent, and then analyze to see if they exist in the way that they appear, if they exist in accordance with their appearance, if their appearance and their way of abiding are in harmony. So this is imperative. If we don't cultivate the view that understands that phenomena do not exist in the way that they appear, they do not exist in accordance with the way that they appear, if we do not cultivate this view, we will not cultivate the direct antidote to our ignorance of self-grasping, the root cause of all our suffering. And without this antidote being cultivated, the afflictions, we may at times be able to weaken their strength or suppress them, but besides that, they will continue to ripen and cause us pain and suffering. So, Chandrakirti, he clearly identified what is meant by inherent existence, and he presented reasons, valid reasons to show why phenomena do not exist inherently. And he went into quite some detail to show that phenomena do not only exist truly, not only not exist truly, but they also do not exist inherently. And he did this to overcome the mistaken understanding that the Svatrantika had come to, their mistaken understanding of Chandrakirti's thought, the Svatrantikas who still grasped at phenomena existing inherently. So Jay Rinpoche relied on Chandrakirti's eloquent explanations, his texts, to come to this unmistaken final view of the Buddha.
Napanan Devi, Lashi, Sidi Panan Dawada Pegi, and the Gombo Lurukda Sanji Jumdan, the Son She Pegi, and the Kasore, Chetam Rashi, Madupa, and the Tasik Tani that Umigi, Davi, Namsha, Lebar Shabas, and Manor Watcher, and the Sanji Jumdan, the Gombo Luru, Comba Chima Chichi, Yimbadi, and Bad Chike, Sonyores, Siguro Lebar Shabas.
This term of eloquent explanation, this shows that what Chandrakirti composed, this presentation of the middle way view, as understood how Nagarjuna meant it, and presented this in terms of what became known as the Prasangika middle way view. This is unmistaken. So this term eloquent explanation carries the meaning not just of eloquence, but being unmistaken, being correct.
Nadine Dinaria Lapra Shebas, the Mano Combachima Chishin, and Mano Shebare, and the Ganeshebare, La Dutsini Batilia, worker Chamber Seljeba City, worker Chamber Seljeba City, worker sit down to the she Sabajonga get down as in Tawatic, worker what that Tawati worker Sigurwa. Then they get Tawadi. Chanwa the Mamurwa, the nigger, Chanwa, the Nisira, Chichilla, Chanwa, so Chichi, the nigger worker, Tavi worker, Nation, Chichilla, Chanwa, Nation to Soyu, Tondala Garson was an David, the Baka, Kunsana, Molia, Chip, setting into work of Shuchu, Dinashi, Saint Dawadabaki, Che Tamja Rashi, Madubiki, Jumse, Rashin, Juna, Jun, Yores, and Riba Yandaba. Riba the Jumse Yandaba, Chik Ni Mambo, Riba Mambo. And a Chetamja Rashi, Tribe, Dongbare, said the Dongbagi, Yimbi, Tripsiki, Riba Yandaba, those and Riba Yanda, Mambo Sung Jesor. The Negi Riba Mambo, Sungbege, Della, Dene, Digi, and San Yujum Dead, and Gombulu, Sun Shepeke, Chetamje, and then. Taseke Tani than Daviki, Ranshin, Majuba, the best Sewu Servares or Sache Bassett, Vergacher, Sache Bassett.
This term, then, that's translated as eloquent, it can be equally translated as good or proper, so maybe that's more appropriate here. The Glorious Moon's proper explanations, or perfect explanations. Also, it can be perfect explanations. That's probably better. Perfect explanations. So the Glorious Chandrakirti's perfect explanations illuminate through its garland of white lights. So here, Chandrakirti's teachings illuminated through a multiple of correct reasonings. So a garland of white light is if you think of a flower garland, or it's the same word, you could say a mala. So you're showing with the mala one bead after another, or with a flower garland, one flower after the other. And this is the kind of reasoning that Chandrakirti used so as to eliminate all mistaken understandings. One correct reason, followed by another, followed by another, followed by another. And through this process, he's able to guide students to abandon all mistaken understandings and come to the correct understanding of what Nagarjuna and Buddha Shakyamuni clearly explained.
가르송고라선다 최탐제 라시 마주바레 제가 라시 줍나 아니 교인 가르용고래라나 답변에 다디디 우마라주바다 셈잠바다 도데바다 제라마 차상기 뭐보 탐제는 귤이 끼고래스 제 라시 줍이 귤이 끼고래스 그러와 라시 줍이 귤이 끼고래스 한콘스 차상디 켈링으로 제가 데네 인나서 다다 반난 다와자바기 뒤지게 최대지 기여도 라신이 주베길에 끼와 말해스 라신이 주베길에 끼와 이나가는 가르고를 교회 가르는 거를 랍나 끼야 될이야 네 랑래 끼와 다래 끼와 세다 셴래 끼와 세다 다다 신이가래 끼와 규메래 끼와 니시 규메바일 끼와 규메바 제가 끼야 될에 야나 다래 끼라고 그래서 야나 셴래 끼라고 그래서 야나 다다시 니가래 깨라고 그랬어. 야는 유메발래 깨라고 그랬어. 되네 깨와 균여요 말해라래. 다래 깨와요 말해. 셴래 깨와요 말해. 아니 다다시 니가래 깨와요 말 유메발래 깨와요 말했어. 되네 깨와 메바인사 라신 주비 라신 길래 라신 깨와서야 돼요 말 라신 주바도 요 말했어.
Det kashakeso det gyushi det sikhakejong yene de dan karitene rangsima drupa yinmin 저와댕이 하면서
디젤시아 로아링이다 라신이 주비게 깨와 말에 라신 주요 말에 라신 줍나 야나 달에 깨고레스 야나 셴레 깨고레스 야나 니가레 깨고레스 야나 유메발레 깨고레스 디네 깨와도 요 말에스 디네 깨와 메발자 라신이 마주바레라 거다.
So Chandrakirti taught that all phenomena are empty of inherent existence. No phenomena exists inherently or truly. So this view that he was clarifying with this view he was presenting, this view of Nagarjuna that no phenomena exists truly or inherently, is a view that other Buddhist tenets do not accept. They accept either or both inherent existence or true existence, that phenomena do exist in this way. So the non-prasangikas, or all Buddhists will say, functioning things or impermanent phenomena arise from causes and conditions. No disagreement. But the non-prasangikas will say, those causes and conditions are inherently existent. Chandrakirti says, causes and conditions cannot be inherently existent. So the reason that the non-prasangikas say that causes and conditions are inherently existent is they're stating that functioning things are inherently existent, and a cause is a functioning thing, an impermanent phenomenon, so therefore it's inherently existent. That Chandrakirti does not accept because no phenomenon exists inherently. So there is a clear line of difference. Then, to show that this is a mistaken understanding, Chandrakirti presents reasoning. So, take this reasoning from the translator with a bit of salt, pinch of salt. We'll see when Geshe explains it further if I've got it a little wrong, but we'll try. So, Chandrakirti said, if something for production can only come about in one of four ways, either from self, from other, from both, and causelessly. If it were inherently existent, it wouldn't be able to come from one of those four. So I'm not really getting the link to what comes from this, so therefore there may be a mistake. But he's saying these four, self, other, both, and causeless. So that I've understood correctly, but I'm not too sure how that will link with what's coming, but we'll see.
코로나를 깨와는 코로나 끼어도니 그 여유로 야게 깨와요 말와서 코로나 여유에 반상 코로나를 깨라고 말지 코로나를 깨와 말해지래 다 달에 마기시도 랑 다스는 랑스 랑을 깨와 말신 소소소 깨와 소소소를 깨와 말해서 소소소를 깨와를람나 소소소 여나 소소소를 깨서는 깨 세워질라 야게 깨라고 해요 말해서 지나디 된다요 말 소소소를 깨와 말 랑을 깨와 말해서 So
before we go further with this, let's just look at these four: production from self, other, both, and causeless, and what is meant by this. So the first one, that of production from self. So that means production comes from itself. So for example, if we think of a tree, if the production of a tree came from itself, then how would that work? Because the tree is already produced. If it's coming from itself and it's already produced, then how can production work? It doesn't make sense. How could it arise again? Because it's already there. So this is the first of these four types of production. Production from self, where the result would come from the cause, and the cause is the result, and that is contradictory, because a result should follow from a cause, not be the cause.
코로나 뉴코로나 여대래 아니 깨깨 라요 말와 코로나 깨라는데 지금도 와대 제대 달라요도 다들 라디오 받아 샘점 혼자게 가라고 미국 코로나 깨라고 말했어 코로나 깨와 말했어 코로나 깨대요 야죠 코로나 깨라고 말왔어 되게 말했지 안 그래
디 타마타마 수데 람성에
제가 도리 받아 샘점 받아 안에 가서 um라주 차상 레고 같은 뉴디게 깨와리나 랑레 깨 코로나 깨와 말했어 근데 부부들이 코로나를 깨와 말 아말을 깨와 말도 코로나를 깨와 말해. 진짜 누구들이 코로나를 깨와 말해서 아니 깨와 말하려고. 한다면 다 간스 깨발해라네. 셴을 깨와 코로나를 셴비 규칙을 깨와 해라고 그러다. 지사다 라요도 텔레 안에 받는 다와다 보 누구들이 셴을 깨와 말해라고 그러다. 셴을 깨와 말해서 다 코로나를 깨와 말해도 다 셴을 깨와 말해라고 그러다.
So we have these four possible ways of production: self, other, both self and other, and causeless. So the non-Prasangikas and non-Buddhists, they agree that, and most non-Buddhists would agree, that functioning things or permanent phenomena come about independent from causes. So if we take a sprout, so does a sprout come about from causes? Yes, everyone agrees. And then Chandrakirti would ask, so in these four ways of production, does the sprout arise from itself? If the sprout came from itself, if the cause is the result, how is this possible? Because the sprout already exists, so how can you say it came from itself? The result and the cause can't be the same thing. And so the non-Prasangikas, they will accept this. They'll say, okay, we agree with you. Production cannot come from itself. That's not possible. We agree. And then the question would be to them, so where do you say production comes? If it's not from self, where's it from? And they'll say, oh, from other. Something other than itself, that's where production must come. And then Chandrakirti says, you're wrong again. Production does not come from other.
그래서네 란주바다 sem자 망원주기 진유고디 기도 셴레 깨와래 랍도 가서 유고 코론레 마임바 사번지 리기는 기거로 와다 되는 현상 셴레 깨와래라고 세상 그 번은 상 가서래 번은 다와다고 또는 셴레 깨와래라는 되게 말했어 결혼에 갈로서 셴세데 라신 주비 규실에 케링이도 왔어 세상 라신 주비 규셴지래 유고 기그래랍나 되게 말했어 결혼 라신 주바 케링 거래 그래서는 라신 주비 규 유고딜 라신 주비 규셴지나 유고대다 균이들 대화요 말했어. 그래서 라신 주비 수강을 맞대 봐. 그런 거는 주디어를 싫어 와서. 세상 그 유어줘야 말고 라신 주디어래서. 유어줘야 말했어. 세상 사번디고 유고께 발라 사번이 유어줘지 한 유고께 보고래서. 세상 사번디 유어 말로나 유고께 말했어. 아니 초진이 그 유어줘야 말. 대자 유어줘야 면서 유고께 두고 말했어. 세상 유고디 다 사번이들이야 네 라니가 라신 주바좀 편준이가 제와 직직을 되고 막 재매래서 세상 결혼기 라신 주바 규칙을 끼기래 라신 주바 규현지를 끼기래라면 네가 말해서 오다 교인들한테 연구를 해서 그래서 교인 가려용은 규디 유아균을 줘야 매든 제보기라고 그랬어 세상 제보디 규디를 끼디 규단 제보니 제와균이면 제매 된신 지래 끼라고 그래 되게라는 네가 말해서 그런 노출을 해서 오늘
Die Rangjupa Menche Konso Gyu Dang Drebu Nika Rangshin Gidrupa Re Segere. So Chandikirti then, he says to the non-prasangikas, I hear you say that production comes from other, you accept it doesn't come from self, but I say to you, production doesn't come from other. Again, you are mistaken. So that may sound strange to us. It probably did to them, to the non-prasangikas as well. Because they say, well, if we look at the sprout, it came from a cause, and the cause wasn't itself, it was other. It would have come from a seed. From the seed came the sprout. So the sprout, the result, came from a cause other than itself, a seed. How can you, Chandikirti, say that this is mistaken, that that production is not like this? So Chandikirti then explains why production cannot come from other either. He says, you misunderstand production because you misunderstand inherent existence. You say that functioning things or impermanent phenomena, for example, causes, results, these are impermanent phenomena, are inherently existent. So you say causes are inherently existent, results are inherently existent. You say production comes from inherently existent other. In other words, from an inherently existent cause comes an inherently existent result. From an inherently existent seed comes an inherently existent result. That's not possible. That's why I say production doesn't come from other, because you misunderstand inherent existence. If a seed is inherently existent, it will possess these two characteristics of inherent existence. It would be independent, so nothing could have an impact on it, and it would be unchanging. And if the result of the seed, the sprout, that were inherently existent, like you say, it would have these two characteristics of not being independent, so not being impacted by anything at all, and unchanging. So if you have a seed that is unchanging and a sprout that is unchanging, how does the seed become the sprout? They're both unchanging. Moreover, they're both independent. So one thing cannot happen, nothing can have an impact on it. So how can the sprout have an impact on how can the seed have an impact on the sprout? So therefore, when you say causes are inherently existent and their results are inherently existent, that's impossible. The cause and effects can have no relationship if you believe that causes and effects are inherently existent. If you believe, as you say, that impermanent phenomena are inherently existent. So therefore, when I, Chandikirti, say that production doesn't come from other, I'm meaning that production doesn't come from the way you understand other, which is other to be inherently existent. In other words, inherently existent causes, they're unchanging. They independent, so they have nothing has an impact on them, nor can they on other. So therefore they cannot bring about a result. And a result, if it were independent, inherently existent like you say, it couldn't have come from anything, because it's independent. Nothing has an impact on it. And it's unchanging. So this is the meaning when Chandrakirti says, production doesn't come from self, nor from other.
Ko gyu rashin dribi gyu shenji le tebu kigre labna chesna dadi de sheri gyun de ne de yores chesna gyu dan tebu ni teho teme dön shen re chesna kigmin hus gyun di shag du chikshwa daina kyorong ane rashin dribi gyu shenji le kigre gyu dan tebu ni de teme dön shen ne kebar yo mares lagwe na da gyun gar yor labna dene sarip na hung chapane pe we chimudu la da we chimu chagwa chagre karasna Tikebala, Jeme, Joe, Midwasword. And no Kunchadu, we omarwa, Tomic Toyomarant, we omarja, Mumba, Latine, and away, we kigris and a Kuran best, Kurantane. As in the Ketchur, Cudi, Debuni, the Gunti, Jawaku Midwas, Pando, Kuran Laptajena, and the Jawakune men and Kilagduas, Kilabnadin, Mumba Latin, and now Latin, Mumba yes. Then the law passion, the home chala was it. Then it can in the Jungle Casane. Jeme Denshinchilla, Jebu, Judan, Jebuni, Jeme Denshinchilla, Jebu the Cutilatin, Jebu Kigre then now Latin, Mumbaki Lagores. Cocarson got Niga Jevan, Jawaku was Kony. Chezan Rashin to be Gushenchilla, Jebu, Shenji Kies, Lavena, Chezan now Latin, Mumbaki, Mumba Latin, Nawaki Lagores, Chezan Kuran, Kin, Dennis Jungure, Chezan Rashin to be Gucci, Jebu Kigre Labna, Quentin in the Yores.
Then the Shen Tandrawa, Rangmare, Shen Tandrawa.
That Shen do Jebuki, the Gushenchi, Latini, Jebu Koran, Shenbi Gucci, Kigre Larava, Tene Gudia Rashin to be Gucci, Lagorova, Chesa Rashin to be Gushenchi, Latini Kigina, and Quentin Jungures, Jawakune Menayang, Jebu Gudia Latin, Jebu Kigre Labna, Tene now Latin Mumbaki, Mumba Latin, Nawaki Lagores. Says no other law pasha do all that Nahum Chas on Lagores. Ruadanzo, says that in again, and then Nahum Chardu, and Sarah Nahum Chardu, or now I should do Lagos. Says that the name Yomar was, Kuron Lapajana Dinajin, Jumzen Dida Charles.
Chandrakirti would go on to point out the absurdity of the non-prasangika's understanding of, or an understanding and, or rather application of inherent existence. See, he goes on to say, if you believe that causes being impermanent phenomena are therefore inherently existent, and results being impermanent phenomena, or functioning things, or compounded phenomena, are inherently existent, then we're sitting here now, I'm explaining the faults of your views to you in daylight, but when the sun sets, it's going to get dark. But how can it get dark independent on the sun setting? In this causal relationship of the result of the sun setting, therefore it becoming dark, to say, if these things were inherently existent, the daylight would be inherently existent and would not be impacted by the position of the sun. And likewise, in the morning, when the sun rises and the darkness of night is dispelled, if the darkness of night then, which is an impermanent phenomenon, if that were inherently existent, the sun could do what it wants. The darkness of night would have no impact on it. The light of the sun would have no impact on the darkness of the night, because the darkness of night, being inherently existent, is independent. Nothing can have an impact on it at all. So what you're saying means that the rising and the setting of the sun has no impact on whether we abiding in light or in darkness. And that, of course, is absurd.
That's all. Kasore, Karasungore Lamna, Rashi Druba Labna, Digio Mares, Dilabio Mares, Jewu, New Dele, Shempi, Gucci, in a Keva Rebel and a Keva Lamna Digore, in a Rashi Drubi, Gucci, Keva Lamna Digio Mares. Says that Rashi Drup Lavio, and Kala Matova, Koron, when you Drup Duke, yuwa yunyo roya medigan, Shen Sujila Panmoton Jingo, Rashing Dubna. Chesango, yuwa yunyo roya medigan, Sujila Jawa medigan, Suganga Panmoton Jina, and Della Dene Jewu Yelamna, Jigmar was. Chesan Dene Sujila Panmotova Yelamna, then Mumbala, then Nawale, then Mumbai Yelawa, then Nanzugi, Bene, Shingna, Dole, then Miki said, Doga, Mel Chulet and making this ada, Melat in a Chuki this adinel, Labna, Digrives, the Digminduas, Carsana, Chudigi, Mele, Nugor, Mebar, the Chupalu, the Messugor, the Mel Pengu Marwas, Chesa, Pamatoba and Deleki Labna, and Chudelet in a Miki Lamna, Digua, Lapana. It's the Rashing Tuba in Kodua unit Marwas. Chesa, you are Sujala Pengu Marco. Pengu Omar, Mapamba and Sang, Delet in a Jibukia Omar, Copando Omara, Panmodo, Jibukia Omares. Chesa, and Panmodo by Nadi, Panmodo, Kodua Kayamaro, Panmodo by Nai, call it Jibutin, Jibuki Labna, and in Argent Jibaran, Chulet in a Meki, said, as a Panto woman was. Because then Mumbaro Chine, now I shall Mumbaki Lamna, Jidu in Panto woman, you are woman, Kuran Laptagena, Kuran Lavana, Samtanagena, Judy Jebudilla Panto woman, Chena, Judy, you are woman to us. The men and Dillet in the Shazaki Churu was over that.
In brief, what Chandrakirti is saying, that to assert that phenomena exist inherently, this is just not acceptable. There's no foundation in logic and reasoning for this. So when you say that a sprout comes from a cause, I have no problem with that. That is correct. But when you say that that cause is inherently existent, the result is inherently existent, that is mistaken. Nothing, not a cause, a result, nothing exists inherently. Because if something exists inherently, it's independent, so nothing would have an impact on it, nothing would be able to influence it, and it'd be unchanging. So we've spoken about the position of the sun having no impact on darkness if these were inherently existent. Likewise, if there's fire and someone pours water onto the fire to extinguish it, the water would not be able to have an impact on the fire because these would be inherently existent. Fire being inherently existent would be independent and nothing could influence it. So if water is poured on it or not, fire would always remain. Likewise, whether a seed, if this is planted and nurtured, again through heat and moisture, if it were inherently existent, a farmer or a gardener planting the seed, caring for the seed, it wouldn't make any difference at all because it's inherently existent. Nothing impacts on it, and nor could this seed or this cause change. So these are the consequences of asserting inherent existence. In brief, cause and effect could not function.
나와라 때문에 문밖에 라기 말아 스티처럼 주게 나와서 차상기 모습으로 와데네라는 지게 모습 좀 봐자고 와서 나와라 때 문밖에 그래서다 슐레 때문에 저하면은 매 슐레 때문에 매기 그래서야 띵안 주게 나와샤도 문밖 세주고라 문밖 매와 자르고 와서 제가 나와라 때문에 문밖 세와르마도 나와라 때문에 문밖에 문밖 차그면도 와서 나고 차그면도 와서 징안 좀 모습 하고도 와서 근데 이제 나와라 때문에 문밖 맞게 와데 맞은 하고도 제가 라신이 루베 귤레지나 나올 때는 문밖에 라고 그래. 제가 디디게 질문도 와 노트지 차기도 와서 그러다.
And Chandrakirti goes on to say, we all agree, you and I, we agree that light eliminates darkness, that water eliminates fire. We agree, and we agree this because we see this directly, we observe this directly. So here there is no debate and discussion. Where the mistake comes in is your adding on inherent existence, you imputing an inherently existent nature to phenomena. saying that fire and water and darkness and light exists inherently. That is where the mistake comes, and that is contrary to what we observe.
Ranshin YouTube Gushanji like you Niga like you Amidus, Niga like you Amar. Dana, you would do Meba Chile Reves Lana. Did you Meba like you Amara? You would do Gucci Latin Yoma, Gula Meba Yomara. Says the Mebanza, you would do Meba like you are Remidus.
Because on Unity, then Nine Kiasaki Made Guten some pimba?
Gusen near Dale Maki Chilapsa, Shalem Mageles Lasoda, Shalem Magella, Niga like Yomarvada. Chesa Nigale Kiwari, the cousin Dale Makela, Quentin, Shen like in the Quentin, Chesa Nigale Kiwari Mare. Tangoni Gucci, Jumevane, Kokia Yomares, Jumeva Kiwana dinner, and then Ganzukaleka Yomares or that Gutondo Tabialia, Matondo Tap, Ma Savan Goya Yomares, Chesan Jumeva Kiunguina, Savan Goya Yomares, Chesan at dinner, Tipashalia, Yamenche or Yomar Topata San Yogo Hoyle, and Yamenche Womindua, you saw Womindua, Chewiki Yonguas, Chesan dinner, Jumeva, Chewiki Aminduas or that.
So Kirti says, well, at the start of our conversation, we agreed that production comes in one of four ways: from self, from other, from both, or from causeless. And we looked at how production cannot come from itself. This just makes no sense. And we thereafter looked at how production cannot come from self, where the result and the cause would be existing together. And we also then looked at how production cannot come from other when cause and its result are inherently existent. That also is impossible, as we've just seen. So then the third possibility was production coming from both self and other. Well, this too is impossible because we've refuted how production can come from itself and we've refuted how production could come from itself as well as how production could come from other. So we've refuted both of those in their individual instances, so therefore combining them, that will make no difference. Production cannot come from both self and other. Then that was the third option, and the fourth, production being causeless. Well, if production was causeless, well, we wouldn't need to do anything. Crops would magically grow, and from one thing, anything could come. Then there'd be no need to accumulate merit, no need to purify faults, because anything would go. And that, of course, also makes no sense at all. So in this way, these four types of production are refuted.
Then you may balance Gigimindu. Then you would get Lam the Gigiminduas. Chesa, Deneza, you would Rashi Madubares, you would Rashi Madubares, Maduba in Bigum Senda, Rale Mike, Shenle Mike, Randa Nigala Make, you may balance Mike, I said, Gumsen, that Rashi Madubi Gumzele, Tisungorua.
And Katie would continue saying that, so now I've identified the faults that follow, the consequences of asserting that phenomena are inherently existent. So when we talk about phenomena, we can talk about cause and effect, and cause and effect being impermanent phenomena, these exist, and we're saying that if they were inherently existent, we've now looked at the faults that would come about. So therefore, phenomena cannot be inherently existent. Causes cannot be inherently existent. Results cannot be inherently existent. when we talk about the result, say the sprout, the production of this sprout cannot have come about in any of these four ways. It can't have come about from its inherently existent self, where the cause and effect existing together. It can't come from an inherently existent other, for the reasons we've seen, that the result would have no relationship to its cause. And because production from inherently existent self and inherently existent other has been refuted, then production from the inherently existent both is also to be refuted, is also impossible. And then the sprout couldn't have come about causelessly. We know this, we observe this in the world. The sprout comes from a particular cause. So therefore, we see that the sprout, as an illustration, is empty of these four ways of production. And therefore, the sprout is empty of inherent existence. And why? Because it is a dependence arising. So as has just been said, the sprout is shown to be empty of inherent existence because it's a dependent arising. So this is the reasoning presented. And why is it said then that the sprout is a dependent arising? Because the sprout has come about in dependence on causes and conditions, such as of the seed and water, heat and moisture. So the sprout is empty of inherent existence because it's a dependent arising, dependent on causes and conditions. If it were inherently existent, the sprout and the cause, there would be no relationship between the two, because they would both be independent, which means nothing can influence them at all. Moreover, they'd be unchanging. The cause couldn't change into the result. The result couldn't come from a cause. And no sprout exists in this way. Rather, from the seed and its conditions, these change and develop into the result, the sprout, and this continues to grow and develop. So the sprout becomes a cause for further results. This is the way things exist. And therefore, the sprout is empty of inherent existence, but is rather dependent on causes and conditions. So this is a more detailed explanation of our second line, illuminated through its garlands of white light, or the mala of white light. So what is being referred to here in the second line is that Chandikirti presented faultless logic and many, many valid reasons to assert that phenomena are empty of inherent existence. No phenomenon exists inherently. And one of these reasons would be the four modes of production that we looked at, refuting production from inherently existent self, inherently existent other, inherently existent both, inherently existent causelessness. So that is refuted. And then a second reason that has been presented is that phenomena are empty of inherent existence because of being dependent on causes and conditions. So these are two of many reasons that Chandrakirti presented to overcome the misunderstandings, a mistaken view in believing in inherent existence.
Gyudan kin chashe kanla yamado korong weni drupdiwa yoba chigla yuwa gyune roya medikin dene chigla rashin drupala gore jire dene di yo mares orda dene gyune yo mares chesan rashin dene yena rashin drupare chesan dene chigla yena rashin drupalabna dene gyene yo mar karsan chigchigla dygo ores ngam pene gyuro chine bengobu dujigi chedamje karsan gyuchila dene shenchila dene kien kigor chesan chig dene dugor mado kana ya madyo dugor kigo mares dene dumne de chike ba ke yuwa dugor yuwa do de kare chesan dene ge yuwa do de gorwas chesan ra 결혼 rashin dutna kana ya madyo ba yuwa gyune joya mediken dene ji sujele panto mediken dene ji yo gores dene ji yo mares rashin juba yo mares da rashin juba yo mares la yo dene donda ganechil go gorsene gala ya ma to ba ran ngoni korong ngoni yo ba chila yuwa gyune joya mediken su gang ya pan ma to han dene ji yo gores ora 제자 rashin juba dene ji yo mare la orda donda la maybe 김정 가서 땡진 저어로 가리나 현실의 균이 뒤지기 최담지 규단 땡진을 뛰는 주 두 규단 땡진을 뛰는 매바차 네 유어로 되는지마도 뒤지기 최되게 되네래 지난 뒤지기 최만 딱봐 있네 다 현실을 뛰네 뇌파 따봐 점이 예디 바람마다 가래 맞여 봐 딱봐 세지 영어야 말해서 온다
So Chandrakirti here is presenting the correct middle view, the correct understanding of Nagarjuna's middle way view, which is that no phenomenon can be found to exist inherently or truly or by its own nature. No phenomenon at all. Rather, phenomena are empty of inherent existence, yet are dependent arisings. For example, dependent on causes and conditions. Moreover, Chandrakirti is clarifying what is meant by inherent existence. That if a phenomenon were inherently existent, it would have these two characteristics of being independent and unchanging. But when we investigate phenomena, we will see that none can be found that exists in a way that is independent and unchanging. Nothing can be found. Rather, phenomena are dependent, one thing dependent on another. For example, cause and effect. We've heard here today then in detail how causes and their results have a relationship of dependency. So therefore they cannot be independent and therefore cannot be inherently existent. And moreover, causes and their effects, not only do they have a dependency, but they change moment by moment by moment. And there is in here too a relationship of dependency. And furthermore, if phenomena did not exist with this relationship of dependency, but were inherently existent like you mistakenly believe, then phenomena would not be able to impact on anything at all, would not be able to serve a purpose or bring benefit. For example, a cause wouldn't lead to a result. Rather, the understanding that Chandrakirti is presenting, that nothing is independent, but rather is dependent. And in particular, the most subtle view, all phenomena are dependent on imputation by mind.
Chita Ranshin Drupa, Deniki Yopa Nawa Nashin, Dini do some big Yores and Samlodi, Zimbadi, Tenzin La Gores, Teacher, Tenzin said, Dela Tena to Yomopa, Chasa, Kusawa Dires, that Dimia was so Gores.
So for us, ordinary beings, we believe that what we perceive through our senses or through our mind, whatever we perceive, exists in the way that it perceives. Or to put it in the way we usually present it, we believe that things exist in the way they appear to our mind. We believe that phenomena, the way they appear, is true, is real. That is how they exist. So we believe in this appearance, we accept this appearance, we grasp at this appearance. And this mind that grasps at this appearance of true existence, believing that this is truly how phenomena exist, really how phenomena exist, this is the ignorance of true grasping, the root cause of all our afflicted minds. And this is what we need to abandon.
아니 발로 샤바점이 현실을 뛰네 발로 샤바점이 요래서 디네자 최탐제 간의신에 딱신 집에서나 자오기네 예매되겐 아니 매봐야 말에 한 최탐제 류파 샤섬 탄이도 요바래 그래서 디네자 한 디네기 남진 냠는 제림바디 우메람지 림바세야지 승고해지다 대시 나도 공부를 손야다 상유 좀는 되게 손야기 다 람여 림바 타도 우메람지 남샤세데 데네시를 라고 해지려
Tene kone kenen tanta di takta dan cheta de kone tsuksun pura. Tene yanki kena?
Dakshin jibetsena gyuni nye mediken. Chesna takta dan chawa. Ande zawa yune meba re ne meba ma re tanyi du pa lue pa xa pa zamyi tobe da pa zamyi yue pa re es. Chesna yue pa za tanyi du yue pa re je cheta da takta dashi tanyi dan je yu umi ki lam. Dene ki nyamnen che ki rimba de da umi lam je nyamsha. Lam je rimba nyamnen che tan sun ko re es.
Rather, what Chandrakirti has presented is the meaning, firstly, the meaning of of inherent existence or true existence, where he says these two are synonymous. And he's presented that this is the way phenomena do appear to us, as being unchanging and independent. But when we investigate, whatever phenomenon we investigate, we'll come to see that it doesn't exist in the way that it appears. There's nothing that we can find. There's no inherent nature to any phenomenon that can be found. So therefore, we come to see that phenomena are empty of inherent existence. They are empty of inherent existence. And this is how the Chandrakirti's view, the Prasangika view, does not fall into the extreme of existence, because it's understood that phenomena are empty of inherent existence. But that doesn't mean phenomena do not exist, otherwise the Prasangika view would fall into the extreme of non-existence. Rather, phenomena do exist, not inherently, but they do exist as mere imputations by mind, as only an imputation by mind. And it's through this understanding that the middle way view prevents one from falling into the extreme of non-existence. And this is how the understanding that Chandrakirti has elucidated presents clearly the middle way view, the middle way between the extreme of existence, which believes that phenomena exist by way of their own nature, and the extreme of non-existence or nihilism, that believes that phenomena do not exist at all. If they don't exist by their own nature, they do not exist at all. And rather, he presents the correct, the unmistaken middle way view.
Denigi ume lamji namsha tartu badida jike sanyu jumden digi lamji rimbi ume lamji namsha tawa tartu badi da gombulu songsha bada and dene panen dawa drape songsha begi denigi shung digele deji pa chi lobjan cheya du dene deya and jik ni bani da denma lame jingi kasore lame jingi tongye se dagi 이 영화서 톱스로 지상 데니게 우메 남제 남샤 타르도 바상이 줌는데 이제 대외 남샤다 남이 타르도 바디 아니 라마게 랑기 외신이 투제 깨진라 때네 아니 그마 안치게 슝ля 퇴섬 곰섬제 투제네 법장 야네 야노 퇴섬제 곰섬제 소사 주장자 이제 데네 제대 아니 제대니 아니 그상이 줌는데 이 공부 타르도디 우메 남제 남샤디 참여하 도송하고 통송하고 도송 체면 예반예송스 제상 예반예 완자 니어도 한 다기 이ing아서 톱스도 냐마냐 다상이 줍는 뒤에 따위 남자 공부 탈도 가리나 삼지야 깔래망고 마신고 깔래망고 저는 니딩 당의 신여도 배심이야 배가 가라나 제당원에 상이 줍는다 랑기 라미기 깨든지 배지마스 깨든다 다디디 공부 루룹다 다와다바다 그런 쪽이 다 깨든 제제 라미 깨든 투지 깨든 첨보래 삼지 뱀마스기 네 그린 제대다 소소그 드링가 되니게 또서 선비기 셈려야 안지 지금 그래서 뽑을 마선의 시우 중성스고로 하다.
Rinpoche, yes, in this verse, in the second half of the verse, is expressing how he has now, in dependence on relying on Chandakirti and Nagarjuna, come to understand the final view of Buddha Shakyamuni, the supreme view, the ultimate view of Buddha Shakyamuni, which, as presented by Nagarjuna, is that of the middle way, and is as clarified by Chandakirti, the view of the Prasangika Madhyamaka. Having now come to understand the final view, we see the third and fourth line. When I beheld this, by the great kindness of my teachers, my weary mind found rest and ease. So after studying and reflecting and meditating repeatedly over many years, he has now come to give rise to a valid cognition, realizing the final view. Having done this, and transformed and overcome all the problems and difficulties and frustrations, and not having attained or realized the final view, now having done so, he's overcome with joy. And this leads to him to appreciate, having attained the result, he appreciates greatly the kindness of his teachers, in dependence on which he has attained this correct view. And having overcome all this mental disturbances, his mind is able to rest in peace.
살아야게 된다. 살아야게 된다. 깔래 쉬우게 니 된다를 미유도 주서 된다. 소소하게 갈랑라 빼야고 준서 선비게 쉬고서 천랑 그 용구로와 니 나신다 제름 지게 균ing부용원에 되니게 한 주음에 남이 따와 남자 타도디 또야게 된다래 깔래 먹고 잡제 되니게다. 되니게 남이 튕게 깨진래 되는 또서도 셈랭아 소슈 제 가오슈 중송하셔야지다. 아니 직내 아니 가오슈 소수게 되니게 따위 남샤디 마 또봐 인자 다 되니게 소수가 냠뇨 사바 인자 되니게 냠뇨 토리야 샹레마 마 신셰제 신이 동아세야다 신이 디기투야랴 지게 답마 지게 라잘 마선으로다 지배 약고식 중소 선비기 판도지 투시하기 니버 톱소 선비기 가와게다 안 지네 상이고 봐 다지 되니기 냠는 제제 상이고 봐 토야게다 땡수를 마소나 안 요고 톱투야게다 니버 마소 톱소 선비기 가와게 지나 라니기 샘전 탐지기 돈도 상이고 봐 토야라야 요고 톱투야게 니버로지 톱소 선바다 신리에 판도 개치 뭐 제대왜 제투야게 니버 제치 뭐 톱소 써야다 유닝빙 안에 되니기 니버디 토야게 돈을 깔래 잡아디 디링 돈다 주소 삼제 되네 가와게 오야 돼 가게 오야바디 개발해서 기위 김전으로서 마서나 김전 숨스러워 되네.
Most probably, you've all had similar experiences when life has been particularly difficult and you're having many problems, either trying to achieve things that one desperately needs, or trying to avoid unbearable circumstances. When one breaks through this and achieves what one is desperate for and avoids the circumstances one is desperate to avoid, one is greatly relieved. And if one achieves this in dependence on the help of others, we feel great appreciation for them as well. So that's very similar to what Ajahn Rinpoche is expressing here. And moreover, he knows that now he has found the unmistaken method to attain peace. He has not only got this profound knowledge, but he has now attained experience based on that knowledge. And he therefore generates great joy in having this ability now to guide others in an unmistaken way, to cultivate the causes for lasting, stable happiness, and to eliminate completely all the causes for suffering. And furthermore, he's got great inner strength now, confidence, that through further familiarizing himself with this realization, Buddhahood itself will be swiftly achieved.
ane tongi tubi sherap ume tawa du kom chene ane tarpa togo sanyo koba top togo mado ume tawa an tongi tubi rangshin marjuba tongi tongpanyi tobi sherap di magomba janshu semda ninje dan jimba dan tsurim sube nyamen karchebe ne ane sanyo koba top togo mares na tongi toba tsamgi ane janshu semda jam ninje da janshu semda jimba la sube nyamen majeba na Antonio Toba Samgi, Sanjo Goba Toba Mares, Chesandini, Sanjo Goba Toba, Samjan Tam, Chigidunda Sanjo Goba Toba Chevala, and they answer Tonio to be shut up, Tonio Topi, Tonio To, the need and Jashu Semda, Chimbata, Sudan Passion to Yaman Cheche, and on those in the Yaman Checo warriors, Tiniza, that Tonio Toba La. And Jiga, Sanyu Jumden Dedan, Kumbulu Dang, and Jiggy, and Penantawara Losopada, Dinigi, Jigia, Molam da Soa Deadang, Tisu Shunba, Simju Chair. That Shulia, Tajon, Tersam Gomson Chibe, Rangi, Lama Dinigi, Lama Noa, Dinga, Lama Chilia, Lami getting change, Lama Deba Zeju, Lama Denje, Lami in the Sonje Shu Nye, Tersam Che warriors, Dini Jebaina, and Sosarangi, Zugi, and Umelambi Namchati, how what Semet Totugres, Dini Totubaina, Sosaranagi Gom Jen, Tarpa Tamji Kimbiki, San Yoko Top Tugore, Chesandin Tobina, Shanlea Pando Getchimuchi Tugure, Jeniza, Tagangele, Ya Lamigi, Sungla Deje, and Tersum Gomsum Dean, Zunju Jeje, and Dustina, and Delia Yumdo, Sajang. Sajang Ji, Sosa, Tibajang, Jangi Jingin, Lobjang Jia Warriors, the name Sungor Tangajang, Labjaru Dinangorwa.
The advice that Ajahn Rinpoche is imparting to us here is that in order to attain freedom from suffering, one has to realize wisdom. One has to develop the wisdom realizing emptiness. And the only way to develop the actual antidote to our suffering is to cultivate the view of the Prasangika. And through cultivating the view of the Prasangika, one will cultivate the wisdom realizing emptiness. And that, being the direct antidote to all our suffering, is what will enable us to attain liberation from suffering. Other than this, there's no other technique, there's no other method. This is the only way to bring an end to our suffering. No matter how much we train in minds such as love and compassion, bodhicitta itself, as well as generosity and ethics and patience, those practices alone will not lead to Buddhahood. Similarly, if one completely ignores those, or largely ignores those practices and primarily focuses on cultivating wisdom, wisdom alone cannot lead to Buddhahood. So we're encouraged here to train in both the method side and the wisdom side, to both cultivate the Prasangika view of reality in conjunction with also cultivating minds such as love and compassion, bodhicitta, generosity, ethics, and so forth. And through cultivating both of these together, and then conjoining it with supplications to the great masters of the past, such as Buddha himself, Nagarjuna, Chandakirti, as well as making supplications to our teacher and prayers to always remain under the direct guidance and care of our teacher throughout throughout this and all our future lives, and making prayers and supplications to not only be relying directly on our fully qualified teachers, but to utilize our opportunity that we have with them in the best way possible, receiving teachings, reflecting on them, coming to meditate on them, and make prayers and supplications that may our favorable circumstances to study the entire Buddha Dharma in its vastness and its profundity, like we heard last night, to be able to study this at the feet of our teachers, and all the while reflecting on its meaning, meditating on its meaning. And moreover, to have at the innermost core of our motivation that the reason for all these prayers and supplications and endeavors is so that we can cultivate good qualities within us, so that we can be of ever greater benefit to others. So here what we're being encouraged to do is to engage in the method side practices of bodhicitta and so forth, and the wisdom side practices in accordance with the view of the Prasangika. And thirdly then, to make supplications and prayers as has just been expressed, and combined with this, to make effort in the accumulation of virtue and the purification of negativities, so as to aid our spiritual development. So that's the advice from Jerin Pashe here in this verse.
Sangye tang da chue tang kindu kunjo sumda kindu nalaya tade kumbo lurup la soba tang tini patan dawa dawa la soba da dini ki ruwa chisang dini pandu chubtun la soba rangi kiwi shinyan la soba yorwa chisang kunjo sumliya kyapsu zhuo che de rangan dunga tata le kyobi nyuba de kunjo sumli yore kunjo sumli kyobguri sambi ki yishe tang deba che dini 저기 다 라신 상마 코비 둥을 다다 봐도 코와래 통되다 코와 딜레 마탄 탑인도스 제단 코와 얘기 조규디 저기 녀몽바제 제가 녀몽바들 탈바세 토부도 선배게 다 디마토는 탑인도 선배게 삼러시다 안디네 숨바딜라 안 지게 심제 탐제 대화의 대바 된고도 제가 심제 탐제 대화의 대바 쇼스마다 근데 나 대화의 대바마 디비규 파진주게 냠는다 덴바 쇼세야다 근데 심지어 동화단 자와쇼 동안유규 레뇽모바 바샤다 제발라 자우도 섬 자와쇼 섬 잠니제 섬다 제자다 동화단 자야디가는 레뇽 바샤다 제발 자 투그레베스 투고어레 가서 라신 주요 말에 유어 줘야요 제자 라신 주바나 간라에마 되바 랑원이 주어기는 줘야 매진 거래 대 녀몽바 차사 아니 가서 되네 말에 땡진 저 중어래 제선 규다 见了 对的 주고래 규다 见了 对的 주바서 거 주어 줘야 매바서야 제사 녀몽바 바샤다 제 방투그래 제사 방투그 인상 심제 탐지기 녀몽 바샤다 제바등이 방와싱이 파매와 수투와 지긴 가서는 콘솔에 최시 냠는 제주도 공그리메리메리 녀몽바 매와 총수 다투고래 되네 장이 콘솔이야 최시 냠는 제주제는 네매바서기 제상 네 탈바도 야상예살로 꾸이긴 선배기 라사 남나sam다 다 미상예살로 꾸어서 네 코들에 최시 냠는 제 야고 라고 라라 소소 야고 신고 제자 상지 고방 토고도 상지 고방 마통도 지기면 디장이 샘제 탐지 상지 고방 토벌쇼 선배기 당아서 자주 샘제 고미야 들어봐 데네게 자주 샘제네 돈이 남샤 땡진 저와 주에 남자 삼다의 자주 샘고미야래 다 자주 샘고네 대장이 류롱주 가기 토네 샬리아 디 주야다 동아 세계 떠나라 땅이 선비게 진비 냠나시아다 데네야 안지 류가 26권에 샬른 네베 삼바세다 자오긴 지메 선비게 수름소야 안델레 하고도 랑지징 삼바 랑기 돈달 삼도 균에 땅이 메스니 가래 제베는 셴 샘쟁 코네치도 지기 선비게 랑지징 삼바 바가 숭긴 선비게 수름소야 될라 ondu samta
di sultan de sum yang kya kena kono chikyang nyoki mare rangchen sin sekare di ni
jen le lunga yusum yushan na ba nyoba sa ogine chigi me sem jeje tang ngi lega kare chebe na semjen la jen semjen duma se da digi ruya 치도마도 랑기 돈달라 자오기네 지기메 선비 랑지징 삼라 디파가야로다 랑기 돈달라 랑가나 상지고마 토베치도 가나 기부용아 치도 지기메서다 셴레 펜바다 셴지 강아세게 치도 냥냥 두긴 선비게 삼다 디니게 가서 진바다 디간데 쇠베 넘경아서 셰샤바 쇠베 냠nen지야 디니게다 두세네 림바진 디네 쇠베 딱 셴지 소슬려 녀바다 강아 제베는 파콘랑 디니 콘랑메 아 선비게 두 삼다들와다 진짜 두셔 삼다 되네 아 냠nen지 등이 야네 야도 무드네 지긴 선비게 저신 가와지야디 준리 삼다 디네 가브레 양아주게 곰잡체 셈메 미바 제치도 미체 당아주 가르리 미베네 미체도 제치도 곰 삼대 곰야다 안데니 고향 제바 제체 돈이고 나이다위 남샤고 지된전 저 중화리 중요고 삼단도 전에 삼단 아주 되니게 삼로 나래야 자야디 당아 저기 야네 야도도 쇼고라게 자야디 계치 뭐 최고로와 세상 아주 냠nen 세야디 봄 잡세야디 아주 삼로디 되니게 톨레 곰리지야 돼 야네 야도 곰리지야 될 시고로 되는 장 당아 저기 남균데 당아 아주 최 냠nen 가르체베나 셰바나 돈다 디레다니 가르시나 마시나 람림 셰바이나다 땡데 남자 셰바이나다 지기 시라니 보시는 최 가르시베나 냠는 제디랑 태바침에 최 냠는 제디 점도 제랑 예중기 되는 예중 돈에다 잠니제다 장주 셈 고미하다 동유도 베시라 고미야 진소 파준주기 냠는 제 니마도요 말다 아제 돈다 디레다 망부고라제 시나 마시나 돈다 디레
How then to take what we've heard this weekend in these 3 sessions and apply it in our meditation? We'll go through the same 4 steps of meditation. These can be integrated into our 4 steps of meditation. So the first step is that of refuge, where we turn our mind to the great masters of the past, primarily Buddha Shakyamuni, as well as those we've been hearing about this weekend, such as Nagarjuna and Buddha Palita, Chandikirti, as well as our own spiritual teachers. And we remind ourselves of their incomparable qualities, and that they, through these qualities, that the 3 jewels and our teachers and the great beings have the ability to protect us from suffering. And they have the ability to protect us from suffering in that it's through their guidance and training and care that we will give rise to the minds of the Dharma, to the Buddha jewel itself in our own continuum, and thereby gain complete protection from suffering, in fact liberation from suffering. So in this way we generate trust and confidence in the Buddha Dharma in particular, and the 3 jewels and our lamas in general. Then the second step is to reflect on the sufferings that are experienced by beings right now in the lower realms, and that this suffering is always a potential, or rebirth in the lower realms is always a potential for beings who have the negative karma on their continuum. Reflect further, in particular, on the sufferings of the happy migrations, giving rise to the thought, not what you want to remain bound in the suffering realm, always at the danger of falling to the lower realms, always in danger of unwanted circumstances befalling one. Giving rise to this wish to be freed of suffering, one needs to then, in the second step, also look at the cause of our suffering. Our suffering comes from these afflicted minds that lead to the accumulation of contaminated karma. And these afflicted minds come from a single root cause, the ignorance of self-grasping. And that is what has to be abandoned. So if one wishes, at the end here of the second point, one can reflect on emptiness, or one can immediately go into the third point, which is, now that we have given rise to a strong wish to definitely emerge from the suffering states of samsara, to abandon the ignorance of self-grasping, we remind ourselves that this wish to experience lasting happiness and to be freed of suffering is not unique to me, but it's shared with all sentient beings. And the reason for remaining trapped in these realms of suffering, this ignorance of self-grasping that leads to the afflicted minds and negative karma, this is not unique to me, but it's shared by all ordinary beings still bound within samsara. And in this way we turn our focus to the suffering that others experience, And we go through the varying steps on developing the minds of love and compassion, as we've heard before. When we think about the minds of love, we generate the wish, may all beings experience happiness. Here we should direct the wish, may all beings experience happiness through them developing the causes of happiness. Understanding that it's only independent on the cultivation of the causes of happiness that beings will experience happiness, and that these causes lack inherent existence and therefore can result in happiness, which too lacks inherent existence in that it came about in dependence on causes. We generate the mind of love whilst thinking of dependence arising. We generate then the thought, may all beings, for all beings to experience lasting stable happiness, they have to be freed of suffering. We generate the strong wish, may beings be freed of suffering. And to do this, may beings eliminate the root cause of all their suffering, this ignorance of self-grasping. This ignorance of self-grasping, that it itself lacks inherent existence, and therefore can be eliminated. Lacking inherent existence, it can change. It can be influenced by others. And generate the wish, may all beings be freed of suffering through eliminating the ignorance of self-grasping. In this way we've generated love and compassion, and then we take the thought further. I have received these precious teachings. I have seen benefits come to myself. I've seen that I am now living a life of great meaning. It's therefore my responsibility to help those who have yet to meet the Dharma, who have met the Dharma but need further encouragement and development to cultivate the minds of the Dharma within themselves. This is a responsibility I have to take because of the kindness these beings have shown, because that these beings are just like me in wanting to experience only happiness, because these beings are like me in lacking inherent existence, yet still grasp at things existing inherently. We generate here the mind of the altruistic attitude of universal responsibility, where we take it as our responsibility to guide beings to a state freed of suffering, a state of liberation. And in order to do this, in order to fulfill this aspiration, to turn this aspiration into reality, we remind ourselves that we have to free ourselves of all faults, all negativities. And these negativities are empty of inherent existence. They've come about in dependence on causes and conditions. And when negative karma, it itself ripens, that ripening result is empty of inherent existence. Doesn't exist in the way that it appears. The cause doesn't exist in the way it appears, nor the result. And these causes of suffering, all these stains, need to be eliminated. And moreover, all my good qualities, these need to be developed and perfected. And because all my good qualities, such as minds of love and compassion and wisdom, these too lack inherent existence and thereby can be developed further. So here, again, whilst we meditate on bodhicitta, we're also reflecting on dependence arising in emptiness. We then make the commitment to strive to become the most accomplished of beings, a fully enlightened Buddha, a being who is able to guide each and every being in accordance with their own personality, their own individual needs, their own individual predispositions. And in this way, we generate the mind of bodhicitta, and we include the meditation on emptiness. Then we come to the fourth step of the meditation, which is that to reflect on the perfections. So the cultivation of the mind of generosity, the wish to give, the wish to help, the wish to give. Here we have generated bodhicitta, so we've generated the wish, the determination to become a Buddha for the sake of others. That's the mind of bodhicitta. Now we're meditating on the six perfections, the activities of bodhisattvas. And we meditate that may all this virtue accumulate, ensure that beings arise as a Buddha. When I become a Buddha, may I, through my form bodies, those of the enjoyment body and the emanation body, may I always teach beings perfectly in accordance with their needs. May I practice generosity through giving them the most valuable of gifts, the Buddha Dharma, to beings. Then we meditate on ethical conduct, the perfection of ethics, meditating that in all my endeavors, whatever I say, whatever I do, may I ensure that my mind is virtuous and I bring no harm to others. And even when I'm not engaging in physical and verbal activities, ensure my mind is not going in the direction of bringing harm to others, but always virtuous. And moreover, in all my activities, now as an aspirant bodhisattva, may I guard against my greatest of enemies, the self-cherishing mind, and ensure that I never act with a selfish intent, placing myself and my own needs first, but always have the thoughts of others at the forefront of all my actions. And in this way we meditate on ethics. And in patience, in brief, reflecting that no matter what I encounter, may my mind stay undisturbed, clear, calm, peaceful, and thereby be able to respond in a skillful manner. Whether I meet difficult circumstances from others, or whether due to my own inner turmoil, whatever I encounter, may I see these as being empty of inherent existence, that there is no inherently existent outer or inner enemy. There's nothing to grasp at. There's no need to grasp. Keep our mind in this way, spacious and relaxed, and respond in a skillful way. And then meditate on joyous perseverance, in generating the strong determination to endeavor and generating joy at what we are accomplishing. Meditate on concentration, single-pointedly, and wisdom as we have been throughout. So these are the 4 steps of meditation, just followed by a dedication as has been mentioned already. And this meditation, for it to be effective, it needs to be engaged in. Just merely hearing about it and leaving it at that will leave imprints on your mind, but not lead to transformation. Similarly, occasionally putting time aside to meditate will lead to stronger imprints, but not to an inner transformation. This word meditation means making habits, creating familiarization. So in other words, through engaging in this meditation repeatedly over a sustained period, we develop strong habituation to these virtuous ways of thinking, and we weaken our habituation, our familiarity with non-virtuous ways of thinking. That is how meditation works, and therefore needs to be engaged in repeatedly over a sustained period. And what we've heard presented here in this meditation, you're not going to hear anything different if you in any other teaching or in any text that you read, whether you read something on the Heart Sutra or the Lamrim or mind training or anything else. This is the essence of the Buddha Dharma. This is the essence or the essential meaning of the Buddha Dharma, and how to cultivate it within yourself, transforming yourself and living a meaningful life.
kusung tu sungki zebe nane da zeba nane yaksho de da sungki zeba de re se de di kor ma shu ya she.
And the next time?
Ne sa.
Okay. So the next time we'll continue in the text and we'll come to looking at the various enlightened activities, of which the supreme one is that of teaching. So we'll start there with the next verse next time. If you have some questions, feel free to ask. If you don't have questions, then you're welcome to leave. So are there any questions? Yes.
I just wondered, when Geshe Thubten mentioned earlier today that the Vaibhashika and Tsongkhapa assert that compound phenomena are dependent on causes and conditions, yet still exist inherently, then they must have had a different definition of inherent, which kind of occurred to you. So
yes.
How did they define inherent in order to make that logical?
Okay, good. So it was said earlier that the 2 lower Buddhist tenets called the Vaibhashika and Sautrantika, they accept that compounded phenomena or impermanent phenomena are dependent on causes and conditions, but they also say they're inherently existent. So what is their understanding of an inherent existence then? It must be different from Chandakirti. Then in kerengi dodepa dang jedamawa ni ngumpo konso duje konso gyula kieni tengi yore konso di kelenche yore de mase konso yang rangsingi drupares lapsong rangsingi drupares lapsong yeni dene konso rangsingi drupka rangsingi döndak de kari yinmin samgi yore karensa konso dang dawa drakpa ki döndak loka de samgi do
kunzu ki jigbare rangshin drub la de ko tautun zena jingye wure si orda bene jeramawa dode bada semzan bada kuma rangju chasan jiba rangshin drub la de ko pa jik simju ji tautun ze pa ze yon de jingye ji ko re si nye ne me na gyuni me wa cha ru re si orda nye ji ko re dene ji nye yue na tautun ze ne nye so na nye ji na de rangshin drub re la ko da uma bene dawa da ba mu tenju be So
the meaning isn't different. What it comes down to, whomever one talks to, is if you investigate whether if a phenomenon exists in the way that it appears, do you find something? And they say, yes, you do. So they'll investigate and they'll say they find something that is the inherent nature or its own nature. Like by its very nature, they will find something that makes it the mind that it is or the object that it is. So they say, but something is found. And then Chandakirti says, but you will find nothing. You'll look and you'll find nothing exists inherently. You will find nothing. And they say, no, you're wrong. We found something.
But in Chandakirti said inherent existence means independent.
Yes.
Changing. So how can it be dependent and independent?
Okay. So then, but then how can something be independent and dependent at the same time? Dene Daodakbe, Rangsing Drupa Yena, dene di Kirchani Yore di Magyarwa, dang di Gangla Matopa. Dene Konso de Kelentena, dene di Dempa Drupa dang Matopare, de Kandesere, de Keltare. Do depa, dene konso alle di dempa trupare, yini di matopare. Dempa trupare. Di tendore, yini di matopare.
Matopare.
Tupare.
Sesan jerama da dode bada semzan bada ranju ba chasangi yudi debu di gyule tine gigres tupare tende healing di tende rakba shi. Chisa da uma tenju bige jeba je tende sai di rakba mi ko konzu garasne gyudi debu di gyule dugo ore gyule tine gigo res ina pho simju ji de da shan jebe chena jingye yo res jene nye yo res wo su ro chisa uma ra tenju bige garasne gyule deba de du san deba na shin gyudi 파 규단 제보들이 파 다신 집에서 녀요 말하려고 그래서 파 땡들 참모 나는 바로 제가 되게 바당 그 샘잠 바당 건축이 되게 바다 제가 마어디 땡들 라바체 딜레도 차와데 샘잠 하고 그거 딜레 차와데 우마 하지 하고 제가 우마 텐주베 나신 땡들 참모도 하고 두고 말한 쪽에 제가 내내 연자 땡들 라바데 기능 요를 빼는 아주이네 아마들 때는 부기바 사번진 누구지요 받은 가서 하고 그거래네 다 라신 좀 마루세 썸다도 빨리 하고 차기도 와 된대네.
So the contradiction becomes apparent when one investigates in more detail. So when the lower tenets such as Vibhashika and Sautrantika say they accept dependent arising, they'll say, of course, a child comes from a mother. The body comes from its parents, etc. No doubt about it, it's a dependent arising on causes and conditions. But when we look inside the phenomena and investigate the phenomenon, it does have its own nature. There is something that makes it a child or a mother. It has its own nature. So then the Chittamatrans will say, no, you're wrong, you're not looking deeply enough. And they will look, but they'll also find something at a subtler level. And then the Svatrantika will say, oh, you've made all these mistakes, you're not looking deeply enough. And then they look more deeply, and they say, you see, there is your mistake to the lower schools. And they go a little bit more deeply, and they still find something. So this is where the difference comes. They all accept dependent arising, but their degree of analysis is less, and the understanding, the degree of analysis is not very subtle. So there's a degree of subtlety, in a difference in subtlety of analysis between the tenets, as well as, from this then, the subtlety and profundity of the understanding of dependent arising. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much.